Yo, what is up, you guys? Your boy Swag-kun back at it again with another video. And today, as you guys know, we are going to be doing a main defense and final four defense tier list video because we haven't updated it in a fat minute. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Same as last time, if you haven't checked out my attack mission main and support tier list video, please go ahead and check that out. We will be doing defense. Also, drop down in the comment section and let me know, do you guys want a blue summons tier list as well? I can make a whole separate video on that, but please drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first things first, we're going to be moving some shinobi around that we got right here, and then we'll get into the brand new shinobi that have dropped since the last time that we have made a video. So starting off with the main defense tier list, we have Kawaki, Karma Boruto, and Bariyama Naruto, who I still believe belong there. Now, what I do think though is that Rinne Sharingan Shadow Sasuke is going to be dropping down to Clapping Cheeks. Now, he is a really good Final Four defense unit, but as a main defense unit on his own, I do think he lacks a little bit of damage. He's a decent staller, but I do think that there's better shinobi out there. So, next up, a lot of you might disagree with me on this, but I am going to be moving Madara down as well to double S tier. If you build him up the right way with a lot of evasion and a lot of attack, he can be pretty annoying to defeat, but with a new 20th anniversary Naruto in the game, it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, which makes him a little less viable, unfortunately. Now, I know that Edo Itachi, Kaguya, and Edo Minato are kind of the same way with evasion, but Edo Itachi has a huge evasion buff. Kaguya has literal invincibility with her teleport jutsu, and with the tornado, she can easily stall shinobi for a very, very long time. I think she's a very underrated defender. And Edo Minato also stays here because he has a really good teleport as well. Built with high evasion and high attack, even if he misses his evasion, he still has really good attack. So built the right way, he is in an almost perfect tier. But you can make the argument that he can drop down here, but in my personal opinion, I do think he belongs here at triple S tier, so we're going to keep the shinobi here. But like I said, this is a little bit debatable. This is just my personal opinion, but these three right here are pretty interchangeable in my opinion, but I like to keep them here. Honestly, I'll probably drop Kaguya to double S tier as well. I do think that when you build them up the right way, they're really good though. So these three are interchangeable. Like I said, this is just my opinion. Now, next up, we have Indra. Indra is going to be dropping down to great, but there's better. He's just a little squishy in today's meta. He still hits like a nuke if you build him up the right way, but even then you need him like at LB3 at very max potential to be even viable in this meta. Jubito is also going to drop down to great, but there's better for the same reasons. Final Valley units, Naruto and Sasuke, are unfortunately also going to be dropped down to great, but there's better for the same reasons, just a little bit outdated. Even with the level 15x ultimate, they just, like with the youth tools, they got nerfed really, really hard. So hopefully with the rekit, maybe in the 5.5 year anniversary, hopefully we can see them up in GOAT tier where they should be belonging. Now, next up we have, next up after the Final Valley units, we have Obito. Obito is also going to be dropping down to great, but there's better for the same reasons. We also have Utakata Takataka dropping down to great, but there's better as well. Now, for the same reasons, they're just a little bit falling off in the meta right now. There's a lot better shinobis. Now, for the rest of these guys, I do think they can hold their own. They are still clapping cheeks. Now, do I think that they're insanely meta, and do I recommend them over any one of these guys? No, but they are still clapping cheeks. They're definitely better than these guys down here in this tier. Now, let's go ahead and get into the new shinobi that have came out with, which is what you guys have all been waiting for. First things first, we got Hokage Naruto, who I personally believe belongs in GOAT tier. Now, mainly everybody uses him in Final Four, but if you decide to use him in the main defense, he's a monster on revival with his revive cancel jutsu. If you pair him up with someone like Bariyama Naruto in the same room, they're also really good. He's also good on the blue summon. He's good all around, and I think he's just a very, very, very good shinobi to have on the main defense. Final Four probably a little bit better, but on main defense, he's still a go. So this man is probably the best shinobi in the game. Low key, bruh. Next up, we got the homie Kushina. We're going to put her in still clapping cheeks. She's a really good support unit, you know what I'm saying? I think she's good enough to be in clapping cheeks. I don't think she's on these guys' tier down here, but I do think she's good enough to be in still clapping cheeks. Kazekage Gaara, we are going to put him probably in, let's go triple S tier right here. I think he earns a spot. Nah, I'm lying. Let's put him in clapping cheeks. Clapping cheeks, I think he's good when he's paired up with someone, but on his own, I think he's pretty decent in a blue summon. I think on blue summon, he's actually very good, but In a regular defense summon, I think there's a lot better options, so we're going to put him down here in Clapping Cheeks. Now, next up, we have War Tsunade, who just recently came out with this new roundup mission. I'm going to put her in Great, but there's better. Now, she's solid, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, in my opinion, I think she's a red type unit, which is an attack type unit, built like a support, which is just weird. That's a weird combination. I think she should have had more of an attack type, like one-shot type of kit, but instead they gave her that. So we're going to put her in Great, but there's better. The new 20th anniversary Sasuke, in my personal opinion, he belongs in GOAT tier. He has a huge evasion buff, a lot of AoE, a great follow-up jutsu, a lot of chakra decretion, and if you build him up with a lot of attack, he can easily 1 to 2 shot your opponents who are coming at you. So in my personal opinion, he's been doing work in my base. I have him maxed out and he does a lot of work for me, so I think he is definitely in GOAT tier. Next up, we have 20th anniversary Naruto. I'm going to put him in almost perfect. Almost perfect. Now, the reason I'm putting him here is because on his own, he's all right. You know what I mean? Like in the blue summon, this is why I'm saying a blue summon tier list would be pretty good, because a lot of these shinobi would be GOAT tier on blue summon, but here they're just, you know, pretty solid. Almost perfect, because if you build him up with a lot of attack, he can be really squishy, but if you build him up with a lot of HP, then he's missing out on the attack. When you pair him up with someone like Baryon or Naruto in the same room, I think he's a pretty good shinobi. That's where I'm saying he's almost perfect. He just lacks a little bit of both. It's either HP or attack. But regardless, he's still really good with his evasion debuff. Rasa and Shuriken sucks enemies in, and he has a lot of good chakra depletion. So almost perfect. We're going to keep him right there. Next up, we have OG Minato. OG Minato is going to go in almost perfect as well. I think he's a lot better in Final Room than he is in the main defense. But I just think he's missing that third jutsu to really just push him over the top. If he had a really good third jutsu, I think he could probably be in GOAT tier. But because he only has 2 good jutsu and he leaves a little bit of space where he's vulnerable, I think that's what kind of holds him back a little bit. In Final 4, he gets kind of covered for that because you have 3 other support shinobi giving invincibility, whereas on defense by himself, he is lacking a little bit in that aspect, but he's definitely still almost perfect and could do work for you in your base. Kinkaku, these are all the Shinobi Chronicles, right? Shinobi Chronicles shinobi, yeah. So we got Kinkaku and A tier, Kabuto, A tier, Kisame, A tier, Toby, A tier, Rock Lee, A tier. Now, I know in my last video, a lot of you guys were saying, but with a lot of investment, they could be pretty good. Look, man, I think a lot of these shinobi with a high level X ultimate completely maxed out could all kind of sneak their way up here. But this is just kind of like in general, you know what I'm saying? So if you summon on him and you don't completely max him out, you just have him like at an average level, they're in low league dookie. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I would love for these shinobi to get really good rekits, because I'm a big fan of a lot of these shinobi. Not Kinkaku, but like Lee, Toby, KCM, Naruto, you know what I'm saying, Kabuto, Kisame. These are all really good shinobi that should have gotten a really good rekit, but instead they got done dirty by Bandai. So I do agree with you that they should have deserved better rekits, but in my personal opinion, I respect y'all's opinion, but this is my opinion. I think they belong in low league dookie, unfortunately. Next up, we got Killer B. Killer B, we're probably going to put in Clapping Cheeks. He is a red type unit. He can do a lot of damage if you build him up with a lot of attack. So I think he belongs in Clapping Cheeks. Shikamaru, low league dookie. Orochimaru, low league dookie. Hidan, low league dookie. And Konan, unfortunately, low league dookie. Raikage as well, we are going to put him up here to still Clapping Cheeks. Honestly, I think he's better than these shinobi that are down here. But honestly, they're better, but they definitely don't deserve an almost perfect. They're too new to be this bad, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, this is my personal defense tier list. So let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think. Would you change anything? Would you bump up somebody? Would you bump down anybody? Let me know what y'all think. This is my personal opinion. I respect y'all's. I love your guys', responses to this. But I'll leave this up on the screen for a little bit just so you guys can kind of see, check it out, take a screenshot if you want to. And without further ado, give me a few seconds and then we'll go ahead and get into the final 4 tier list. Let's get it. All right, you guys, so here we are coming up next with the final 4 defense tier list. Now, same as the last time, we are going to be going through switching out who I think deserves to drop down, who deserves to go up, and then we will go through and change or add in the new shinobi that have gotten rekits or haven't added into the game. So first things first, I do believe that all of these in GOAT tier still belong up here in GOAT tier. Rin, Boruto, I know a lot of people don't use him anymore, but if you don't have Rin's healing chime, he is an absolute necessity. He is a great substitute for Rin, because if you just equip his invincibility, he can literally save your final four from getting insta-casted or gate crashed. So he definitely belongs there. The rest of these guys still deserve to be up here as well due to their evasion, their buffs, and attack power. Now, same thing here that I talked about with the supports. I think final four is very subjective. Same with defense, but final four I think a little bit more, because a lot of shinobi are really good at giving buffs to the entire team, whereas other shinobis are really good at chakra drain. A lot of shinobis are good at decreasing evasion, debuffs, a lot of attacks. So this is a very subjective tier list. Like I said, this is all my personal opinion from my experience. I've been playing the game for a while, so let me know what your guys' opinions down below as well. But let's get straight into it. So first things first, we are going to be dropping down Ashura to Still Clapping Cheeks. Now, the reason I'm going to be dropping these next few people are because they are lacking a follow-up jutsu. So right now, a big necessity in Final Room is the 20th anniversary Naruto Rasengan, which decreases evasion of all opponents whether or not the attack hits or not. So whether you are invincible, whether you have evasion, if the attack hits you or not, it will decrease your evasion, which is an absolute necessity in Final Room. So for shinobi who don't have a follow-up jutsu, it automatically drops them down a tier because you are losing an extra follow-up jutsu, or you're losing the opportunity to equip that jutsu on there. So for that reason, Ashura will drop to double S tier, Kaguya is dropping, Madara is dropping, Tobirama is dropping, and Utakata Takataka will be dropping as well. I will keep the rest of these guys in here because they all have follow-up jutsus, and in this case, Karma Boruto is actually very underrated in Final Room for his chakra depletion, however you say that shit. Sasuke versus Jigen the exact same way, and he has his Amaterasu, which increases cooldown times, and Shikamaru with high chakra. He can literally paralyze anybody at any given point, regardless of status limit immunity or not. Now, we're going to be dropping down some other people here. So, Final Valley units will also be dropping to Good But There's Better. God willing, man, I really hope that they get their rekits, because I can't wait for a Naruto Final Valley rekit and Sasuke. So, eventually, they'll probably climb their way back up here, but for now, they are a little bit outdated, so we will be dropping them. KLM Naruto, man, one of my favorite shinobis. I still hope that he gets his rekit that he deserves, but he is a little bit outdated now, so he is now in Good But There's Better, unfortunately. And I think that's it. I think the rest of these guys can still be in Clapping Cheeks. Like I said, they do give great buffs, great invincibility, and all of that stuff to their fellow shinobi in Final Room. I just think that without their follow-up jutsu, they are lacking to be put up here. But regardless, I think these still belong in Still Clapping Cheeks. Now let's go ahead and go through everybody else. So we have Hokage Naruto. As you guys know, man, already my boy belongs in GOAT tier. I think he's one of the shinobi who's been in GOAT tier for every single category. He's just an absolute monster. Gives everyone evasion. Has a great follow-up jutsu, a great 4-star, and with his old limit break, the Roar jutsu, he gives everybody amazing buffs. So overall, very, very good shinobi. Kushina, we are going to be putting in probably Still Clapping Cheeks. Some people will put her in Almost Perfect, and I do think that if she's maxed out and given a lot of stats, a lot of buffs, she can climb her way to Almost Perfect, but I do think that she needs a lot of investment. So with investment, she can come to Almost Perfect, but just as regular free-to-play or average, dolphin type of players, she belongs in Still Clapping Cheeks, in my personal opinion. We have Kazegara, my boy belongs in GOAT tier as well. Huge chakra depletion, gives evasion buffs, gives everyone a huge defense buff. Overall, just an amazing shinobi, and he has one of the best follow-up jutsus in the game as well. So overall, a very, very great shinobi. Definitely belongs in GOAT tier for the Final 4 tier list. Warnade, aka War Tsunade, 107 centimeters. We are going to put her in Still Clapping Cheeks. Now, I don't think she belongs in Almost Perfect, but she is a red type unit with a support kit. So built up the right way, she can definitely belong in Still Clapping Cheeks. Now, 20th anniversary Sasuke, I'm going to put him in Almost Perfect. I don't think he's good enough to be in GOAT tier, but I do think with his evasion buff, a lot of AoE, and he also has that new status ailment where he basically decreases how much HP you can recover. So he also decreases HP for a lot of opponents, or all the opponents. So, but in general, I think he's just selfish with his buffs, and that's why I'm going to keep him in Almost Perfect. Regardless, I do think that a lot of these shinobi don't give buffs to most of the team, but I just think they do more than this Sasuke does. But regardless, still a very good option to put in Final Room. 20th anniversary Naruto obviously is one of the best units in GOAT tier to put in final room. Rasengan that decreases evasion, the best follow-up in the game. Rasen Shuriken to suck enemies in, and also has double strip, decreasing invincibility and status immunity, a limit break 2, and also has a great invincibility jutsu with a shadow clone jutsu that sucks enemies in as well. An amazing final 4 unit. Minato, goated, GOAT tier. I don't know what anyone got to say. Those 2 jutsus are monster jutsus. Now what held him back from being GOAT tier on defense is what puts him in GOAT tier in final 4, because even though he has that little bit of a gap where he can get a hit, the rest of the shinobi are going to help him out by giving him invincibility and healing him. So GOAT tier 100%, one of the biggest chakra depletion jutsus in the game, a monster in GOAT tier for sure. Now we have Kinkaku. Kinkaku's actually going to go in good but there's better, in my opinion, for this one. Probably the one and only Shinobi Chronicles shinobi who's going to be in good but there's better. Still not that great, but I do think that with his new jutsus and with his follow-up jutsu, I think he can do some pretty decent stuff. You know what I'm saying? He does pretty good status elements, has a lot of AoE, so not too bad. He's solid. Now we have Kabuto, Low League Dookie, Kisame, unfortunately, Low League Dookie, Toby, and Lee. Killer B is going to go in good but there's better as well. Just doesn't really bring much to the table in the final 4 aspect. Shikamaru, Low League Dookie, Orochimaru, Low League Dookie, Hidan, Low League Dookie, Raikage, also good but there's better. They just don't bring that much buffs to the table for their team, or don't do enough damage to really belong any higher than that. And Conan, Low League Dookie, unfortunately. But in my opinion, this is my final 4 tier list, you guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Would you guys move anyone up? Would you move anyone down? Let me know, man. This is my personal swaggy tier list, you know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think. And let me know if y'all want to see the blue summon tier list. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I can make a video for that as well. I know there's a lot of new players joining because the 5.5 year anniversary is coming up. So if you have any questions regarding why I put these shinobi where they are, please let me know. But anyways, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe, join the swag fam if you haven't already. But without further ado, have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. Stay swaggy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.